Hey Capricorn, it's Empress Rose here. Welcome to your reading. These are general readings. Take what works, leave what doesn't. If I don't catch your storyline or wavelength on this one, go check your other major placements. And even if I do, and also you should know that at the end of the video, I always post pictures of the cards that I pull, so you can, read along or check my work or see for yourself what happens. So I just thought I'd let you know, because many of you don't watch the videos all the way through. So if you were wondering, those are posted there. And let's see here. We're going to start off with the Oracle decks of Moonology and Work Your Light for an intuitive vibe, and then we'll move on to more traditional tarot spread for other information. All right, what do we have for Capricorn? Capricorn. Wow, I like that. I don't know, some readers don't like that, but to me it's very exciting. It's like an exclamation mark on this reading. And you got a lot of cards too. What is up? Sagittarius got a ton of cards coming out, and you got a ton of cards. Oh, Sagittarius. What? Okay, cool. Fascinating. Personal reading just had a bunch of these come out. Okay. I like that. That's good. Okay, emotions are running high. You know how you feel. Could be a very tense situation, very intense situation, but you know how you feel. Pretty clear to you. There's not a lot of hidden emotions here. This is the Sun card as far as like clarity is concerned. Clarity, a very good view. Emotions are not hiding here and there. There's no like shadows of emotions scurrying in the background that you can't see. This is all front and center, right up here. Emotions are running high, super moon. We also have conclusions are within reach. So I like that. I mean, it's going to take a little work on your part, but something's ending, something's coming to a close. Some sort of understanding is going to finally be achieved. To me, this is sort of the closure of a situation. It's the door, the gate coming down. It's the drawbridge sort of being pulled up, like, whoop, done. We're done with this. We're finishing something up. So there's going to be some closure. Closure is incredibly important. It keeps things moving forward. I always think of the vascular system and how these valves close behind every blood pump and keep us from being kind of a skeleton with like large, giant blood-filled feet, right? So keeps the blood moving, life going, pumping. So some closure here, so then we can definitely be moving on to something else, and the energy and our lifeblood and all of that can be focused elsewhere. So conclusions are within reach, something, but it's not a completely passive card though. It's within reach. That requires some effort on your part. The closure's available to you, but some effort may be required. Then we have the ever unfolding rose, cracked open. It's happening for you, not to you. I like it because this is something's unfolding petal by petal. And it may feel difficult, but it's actually really healthy for you. And especially if we're talking about a closure, closures can always feel difficult. Endings can feel difficult. I've often wondered, why do we want everything to remain the same? Because that's never been offered. That's never been on the menu for life. Change is the only thing on the menu. And so why this resistance? But it's because we have these rigid ideas of ourselves, right? Some people call it ego, but it's just this, these labels we give ourselves, these concepts, and when the exterior changes, the interior must change as well. So we don't want that. So we don't want this change. But this change is ultimately benefiting for you. It's helpful for you. You are safe in difficulty. If this unfolding is a little difficult, breathe through it. You're safe. This is saying you're actually safe. It might be a little bit of our nightmare card, where the worst thing here is your fears about it. That's it. But you're actually safe in this difficulty, keeping your heart open, and everything is going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay. It's happening for you, especially if we're having some sort of ending here, some sort of conclusion or closure on something. It's going to be okay. Keep breathing. Keep the heart open. Remain open to others. Don't shut down. Don't shut out your own feelings. We don't need to lock ourselves into anything here, but remaining open. And we are safe in this difficulty. Council of Light, divine orchestration, helpers in the subtler realms. So you may have someone helping behind the scenes, maybe, talking you up when you're not in the room, or someone, helping or spiritual help. It's supposed to mean spiritual help, but sometimes I put a practical spin on these. So there might be someone that can be helpful or useful to you, but they're not like saying like, I help, it's more subtle. So there's some help here. It is very subtle. It might be unknown to you, and that's okay. And you can trust that as you go through this unfolding, possibly a little bit of a difficult situation unfolding here. Just know that you are supported, and you do have help, and you do have people around you that can help you with something, even if it's difficult, especially if it's difficult. We have answer the call. What is your soul calling you to do? Seeing something, seeing a vision, and really thinking about it, contemplating what your next moves are. What's your next authentic move, your most authentic move? It's almost like if this does come to a conclusion, if we do have a closure here, closing of some sort of past event here, where are you moving on to? What's the next step? Where do you want to go next? Visioning that, answering that, checking in with that about where you want to go next, where you want to go next. So that's your soul talking to you. So checking in with that and getting grounded in that as you contemplate your next steps forward. Imrama, where are you being called to journey to? You might actually go on an actual trip to someplace very special to you, sacred to you, but it can also be a vision quest. This looks like a vision quest to me too, taking some time out. At different times in my life, I've taken some days off of work to just sit in a garden and figure out my next move, my next step after, some sort of decision was presented to me. So I feel like this could be, a vision quest, taking some time out to just really think about your next step. If you're leaving one job, maybe not just taking the next one that comes, but really taking it as an opportunity. If one job is ending, taking it as an opportunity to set up your next steps, to really think about where you want to go, what you want to do, and try to find a job more in line with that. So where are you being called to journey to? Where do you want to go? And it could be an actual journey, an actual trip that you're taking. But it could also just be visioning and trying to figure out what the next steps on your personal journey are, on your journey of growth through life is. So really putting some thought into your next steps here. Especially since we've got sort of this already this metaphor of vascular movement and something closing. And this is being very intentional about the next thing you open up, about the next present you open at the shower, being intentional at the baby shower, whatever. I think it's been 400 years since I went to one of those, but being intentional about the next step is what I'm seeing. Something's ending. You have a new beginning. This will result in a new beginning, but right now it's almost like a Four of Swords energy where you're kind of napping between. You're taking some time to or this is what the cards are suggesting, taking some time before you start the next part of your journey, taking some time to plan it out, think about it, and maybe you're just actually, where do you want to go on vacation, and really putting some thought into that too. But planning it out. What's the closure might be a little difficult, but be intentional about your next steps. And this is just creating the intention around the next steps and dreaming about them, not actually being asked to move towards them. And knowing that, like, if this is a job situation, knowing that divine orchestration helpers in the subtler realms, that something could be coming together for your good, especially with this unfolding rose. Something's coming together for your good. People may be working and speaking on your behalf that you don't know about right now. But your job right now is to close something off and just kind of start dreaming and envisioning the next chapter. Past, present, inner landscape, what's at issue, your environment, to-do list, possible outcome. Oh, tarot's so fun. Okay, in the recent past, we have the Tower card, which is basically what I was just talking about. We have something falling apart, a structure in your life, something that you relied on, something that's been part of your life for a very long time, leaving, falling apart. This can be a breakup. This can be a job loss. This can be a loss of a home. This can be, it's the Tower moment. It's shorthand for a big, massive shakeup. When we're having a conversation, people will say, I just had a Tower moment. Maybe just my people say that, but it's just tower crumbling. It's the structure falling apart, right? The benefit is that it creates now an opening for the next chapter, but that's pretty freaky, scary, terrifying. Something you've clung to just crumbling, something you've relied on, so the solid ground beneath your feet, maybe even something relating to your self-definition. This is the change, the external change that forces the inner change. And forces the gears to get moving inside. It's the external change. It's out of your control. It's something you maybe didn't really want to have happen. It does create an opening for a whole new life or a whole new situation, but it is something that you didn't really want to have happen. You would have preferred that everything kind of stay exactly the way it was, but that's not what happened. It fell apart and probably changed some shifts in your own self-perception and in your own self-definitions. So real challenge to the ego, to how we perceive ourselves. But it was probably an external change that really rocked your world and rocked your inner world as well. Probably something you didn't really want to have happen. You were relying on something and then it fell apart. So now what? In your current situation, we have 9 of Wands. Sagittarius just got this one too. Different situation, different placement, but that always, I love to see that because it feels like we've all got some sort of similar energies moving through our lives as a collective, and it's affecting all of us differently, but there's a similar energy. Here we have 9 of Wands. So wounded warrior, you have to keep going, you have to keep fighting. This rosebush has torn her to shreds, but she can't stop pruning it. She has to keep going until it's done for some reason. This is taken literally as the wounded warrior. This is everyone that knows you thinks you should be discharged from this war and sent home on medical something as medically necessary, but instead they're sending you back out to the battlefield. So you're back out on the battlefield. You don't want to be here. You're wounded enough. You're tired. You're exhausted. It's like, look, people, I'm dying here. Do we really think I'm the best person for this job? Because I don't think so anymore. But there you are. You're still showing up. You're still showing up to work. You're still showing up to the relationship. This could be a relationship that fell apart, but yet you still have to keep dealing with it. Okay, now I've got to go pick up my stuff from their house and I'm done with it. I'm over it. Oh, now we've got another custody discussion, but I'm over it. So it's like feeling emotionally over something and ready to move on, ready for this closure, but you still have to keep going. Something about the situation demands that you come back to it again and again, no matter how wounded you are, and you should probably go home and tend to those wounds. This is like, sorry, Charlie, that's not how the situation is unfolding for you. So in your hopes, your fears, your inner landscape, you were really hoping for this new beginning. You were really hoping for a new beginning, something, your reality, to have, you're looking forward to hoping the next stage, a new thing coming into reality. This could be a new job. Could be learning a new job or having a new relationship, one that hasn't been all gunked up by everybody's issues yet. So a new relationship coming in here, really wanting to learn something new, physically apply information and learn something. That's what you've been looking forward to, a new beginning, but you're still in this old war, this old battle. This would be like the war is over, but you're still in a battle that hasn't gotten word yet that this war is over and this thing's ended. right? And I love this conclusions are within reach. You've got to reach for this, right? Look, it almost looks like they're in the same little woods, in the same little bramble here. And you've got this conclusions within reach. It's difficult to reach out for it, but you can do it. You're looking for something new. You really want it to start in reality. This is saying you got to keep dreaming, keep visioning. But you're ready for it. You want it so bad. A new beginning, a fresh start, maybe with a new job or a new relationship. Really wanting a fresh start in reality, not in theory, not an emotional fresh start. You want a fresh start. You want a new car. You want a new job. Just this thing that fell apart, and I still have to deal with it all of the time. Really looking forward to a whole new reality. You're looking forward to building a new tower, right? The crumbling of the old tower, especially if we're talking Legos, the crumbling of the old tower allows for the building of the new tower. So you're looking forward to building the new tower, but you're still cleaning up the crumbling of the old tower Legos, and you're still having to work on that mess and clean up that mess. You're very unhappy. What's at issue? A lot of unhappiness. 9 of Cups reversed. Whew, 9 of Wands. It's like 9, 9, 8. You're close to the end of something, but you're not quite there yet. 9 of Cups reversed. Very unhappy. You're either extremely unhappy about something, and who wouldn't be with this 9 of Wands? You're very unhappy about something that had the potential for maximum happiness is turned into quite the disaster. Or you're happy and you can't show it. There's something you can't reveal. There's a happiness that's being hidden here. Because the 9 of Cups is a public display of happiness. It's being proud of happiness. So there could be shame here. There could be some shame here. There's maybe some shame about there could be shame here, which of course interferes with a lot of growth and communication. Get what you can from shame, but really it's unexamined, unlooked at. It's quite a disaster. It can destroy all of your relationships. It's quite the emotion, quite the feeling. I wouldn't say just pretend you don't have it or it's not there, because there's something there that you need to look at. There is a sense of behaving in a way that's not in line with who you are that you need to deal with, and get that back into alignment, or find ways of dealing with that, or being embarrassed about something, feeling shame. It can be very destructive. I think it's one of the more destructive, unexamined. It needs to be looked at. So there's unhappiness here, a lack of fulfillment. It could just be a lack of fulfillment. It doesn't have to be like an act of unhappiness. It could just be a lack of fulfillment. This has not been a fulfilling journey. Well, how could it be? We've got the tower falling apart. We got the 9 of Wands. You still have to keep dealing with it. Very unhappy or unfulfilled, or a shame. Because there should be a pride element with that happiness. So that's why I'm seeing shame here. Embarrassed and ashamed of this battle, or of what fell apart. But remember, it's happening for you, not to you. In your environment, you have the Hierophant. Institutions. Dealing with institutions, in theory and in reality, some sort of institution is here in your environment, or a highly religious person, a highly religious person, or an institution. This is book learning. This is old, ancient wisdom, and maybe the institution holds just the husk of the original intent, is just a shell of what it could have been or what it once was. But there is an ancient wisdom here still to be found, still to be understood. There's listening and trying to understand this institution. There could be a sense of trying to navigate the institution, trying to figure out what the rules are, what the regulations are, how you get what you need out of it. religion. The Hierophant's usually a religious priest, right? But that's very different than the priestess, which is sort of this wild spirituality. The Hierophant is a very tamed, almost to the point of death spirituality. Pretty rigid structures. We do see life within it. We do see a spark within that structure of intention, a spark of life, but it could be a pretty, the Hierophant is a difficult energy for me personally. So it's always interesting to read the card here, because it's just, you know, ancient texts, possibly present textbook. And then in your current situation, or what your to-do list is, this is your to-do list, is to deal with self-limiting beliefs. The Eight of Swords, she's trapped, but only with her own mind. It's only because she can't see the possibilities. She can't see the infinite possibilities that the universe holds. So there's a sense of needing to deal with your own inner monologue, inner mantra. That's your to-do list. I mean, sometimes it's really funny. Like, there's this whole reading. It's not really funny, but there's a whole reading. And then the to-do list is like, to do something that does not seem to relate to this reading. But this is self-limiting beliefs. You could not realize that you can actually bring something to a close. You can create an ending. You may not realize that you can envision a new beginning, that you can go somewhere, that you can walk away from this. You may not be aware that how powerful you are in the situation, what you can see, what you can affect. To me, the Eight of Swords is always working on our inner mantras, right? We all have inner mantras, repeated thoughts. We often repeat the thoughts every day over and over and over again, and thereby this is our mantra. It's unintentional, it's accidental, it's possibly inherited. It's our mantras. We already have them going on. So it's not some new concept that you have to wrap your mind around a mantra. You already have mantras. What are they? Because there's something wrong with them. They're holding you back. It could be a mantra around shame. It could be a mantra around other issues, that a secret unhappiness, a secret sorrow, a secret grief. But something about what the tarot's saying is that there's something about the situation that requires you, that's asking you to go into your inner mantras. I can't necessarily see it from here, but you'll, with some investigation possibly, or maybe right off the bat, you're like, that mantra, that's it. You know, and we just have these repeated thoughts every day. And some days, one of my mantras or one of my goals is to come up with a different thought than the ones I thought the day before. Or to at least identify, yep, you thought that the day before. Yep, we went on that track the day before that and the day before that. Yep, we've thought about this every day for 2 weeks now. So let's come up with a new one. Okay, this is getting boring. So this is being blocked off to the infinite possibilities of how something could turn out, of how something could go. And the only thing blocking you from that is your own mentality, is your own determination of what can't happen, of what could never happen, of what couldn't be yours. And it may be related to shame, thinking that you don't deserve something, thinking that you can't have something. But the universe is out here. The whole universe, full of infinite possibilities, is out here. And who are you to say what it can't deliver and what it can't give you and what you can't do and what you can't accomplish? So there's just, it's the crappy mantra card. And then possible outcome, the moon, things being revealed. If you're in that crappy mantra, you're definitely going to be working with some subconscious issues coming up. What can be tamed, what cannot be tamed. Dealing with things being revealed, things being understood, things being seen, wild bits. This Hierophant has whatever wild bit is here in the environment. It's very tiny. It originally sparked the whole institution or the whole situation, but it's sort of, we've got a lot of dead wood here, but there is still a spark of life, and this is sort of getting in touch with that spark of life. I feel like this is much more spiritual, much bigger. I mean, emotions running high. We've got the moon really up close here, whereas here it's in the distant, almost forgotten from this whole wisdom. But this is the moon more being revealed, dealing with subconscious issues, with what's hidden, with what's not hidden, and being able to see more clearly. High intuition, high understanding. I believe it's the same, possibly, you know, getting in touch with your subconscious, getting in touch with your soul and what it's calling you to do, and taking a look at that more. But first, it looks like you need to deal with some self-limiting beliefs before you can even start opening your eyes to the journey ahead of you, and even trying to hear what your soul has to say. But here you are, you're listening to it, what your soul has to say, and the bigger journey. But you've got to deal with some, you've got some beliefs that stand between you and that clarity and seeing that. All right, so Capricorn, I hope that that was helpful for you. Thank you so much for your likes, subscribes, and comments. And I'll see you guys in 2 weeks.